All right, so we're going deep into CSIRO Row.
Yeah.
All things CSIRO, and particularly their robotics research.
Yeah.
And wow, you really gave us quite the reading list for this one.
It's a big one. Yeah.
It is. We've got excerpts from Wikipedia about CSIRO, as a whole,
Uh-huh.
and then a bunch of pages from the CSIRO Robotics website.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Their history, research areas.
Yeah, facilities, the whole shebang.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess our mission, if we choose to accept it, is to sort of trace the evolution of CSIRO robotics.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
figure out what kind of impact they're having on the world and maybe even get a glimpse into the future that they're building.
Yeah. Sounds ambitious, but I think we can do it.
It does. It does. It's a deep dive after all. So to set the stage, I mean, Wikipedia paints this picture of CSIRO that's really been a cornerstone of Australian science for over a century.
A long time.
Right. It was founded way, way back in 1916. So they're a government agency with like a ridiculously wide research scope.
Mm.
We're talking everything from agriculture to radio astronomy to manufacturing.
And with over 50 sites across the country, thousands of employees, and they've got all these international collaborations. They're not just dipping their toes, they're diving headfirst into all these fields.
That's true. It seems like they've got a hand in, pretty much everything. And speaking of having a hand in things, their list of inventions is super impressive.
Mm.
I bet you didn't know that essential components of Wi-Fi technology actually came from CSIRO.
It's true. It really did.
Yeah.
And think about how that's shaped how we connect and communicate today.
It's crazy.
Even the very fact that we can do this podcast, remotely is partly thanks to their work.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
It is. And it's not just Wi-Fi. Remember those polymer banknotes that Australia introduced?
Yeah.
Another CSIRO brainchild?
That's right.
And let's not forget Aerogard,
Ah, yes, of course.
that insect repellent that's basically a national treasure. Seriously, who hasn't used Aerogard at a summer barbecue?
Essential.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like they've got this knack for both, like, groundbreaking tech and everyday solutions.
Yeah, totally. That's a really good way of putting it.
But of course, with any organization that is pushing the envelope, there's bound to be a few bumps along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
So Wikipedia mentions some controversy around the total well-being diet, which is that high-protein, low-carb diet that CSIRO was promoting.
Right, right.
And apparently it sparked debate, even within the scientific community. Some people criticizing it for maybe giving too much weight to, a trendy diet.
Yeah, it was pretty controversial. And there was also that whole patent lawsuit, right, over their Wi-Fi technology components, which ended up with them suing major companies like AT&T and Verizon.
Oh, wow.
Some people even labeled them a patent troll. Yeah, it was a big deal. But it definitely highlights, I think, this complex relationship between scientific research and commercialization and, intellectual property rights. It gets messy.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even the most brilliant scientific discoveries can get really tangled up in legal and ethical debates.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, but let's shift gears now and focus on CSIRO Robotics specifically.
Okay.
Their website really lays out their vision, and it's pretty interesting. It says, developing highly autonomous robots to assist humans.
Kitschy.
Right. It is. And it just sparks all these questions. What does that assistance actually look like in practice? What are the limits? What are the possibilities even?
Yeah, it's like a glimpse into a future we can barely imagine.
Totally. And their website traces their journey in robotics all the way back to the 1980s, which isn't that surprising, I guess?
Uh-huh.
Starting with a focus on manufacturing and mining,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense given, Australia's industrial landscape.
Yeah, definitely. But just like CSIRO overall, they've expanded their horizons dramatically, right? Now they're working on everything from agriculture to biosecurity to environmental research. It's like no challenge is off limits.
Yeah, and they're not just participating.
Yeah.
They're excelling. Like, take, for example, the DARPA Subterranean Challenge.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This was a big multi-year competition where teams had to design robots that were capable of navigating and mapping these really complex underground environments.
Right, right. Like caves, tunnels, abandoned mines.
Exactly. Places where it's way too dangerous or just difficult for, humans to go.
Right.
And get this, CSIRO came in second.
What? No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were up against teams from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, MIT.
Oh, wow.
like some of the biggest names in robotics. It's like the ultimate underdog story, of the science world.
That is amazing.
It is. And it shows that CSIRO Robotics is playing in the big leagues and really holding their own against, the best in the world.
For sure. And, I mean, the potential applications of that technology they developed for that challenge, it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, think about search and rescue in disaster zones or exploring, hazardous environments. It could be a total game changer.
Right. All right. So we've established that CSIRO Robotics is a force to be reckoned with.
Definitely.
Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what they actually do.
Okay, let's do it.
So their website outlines, several key research areas. And first up, we've got advanced 3D LiDAR-based mapping and localization. Now, it might sound like a mouthful, but trust me, it's fascinating.
It's cool, yeah.
So what's really cool here is they're using LiDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging.
Oh, okay.
To create these super detailed 3D maps of both natural and man-made environments.
So, like, imagine having a digital twin of an entire cave system. You know, every nook and cranny perfectly mapped out.
Right. And they're not just doing this for fun.
Yeah.
The technology has, like, real-world applications. The Queensland police are using it to document homicide crime scenes.
Wow.
Archaeologists are using it to map unexplored caves and digitally preserve cultural heritage sites.
It's like something out of an Indiana Jones movie.
It is, right. And, of course, there's the mining industry. They've been using 3D LiDAR mapping to monitor structural changes in mines to ensure safety and optimize their operations.
Right.
They've even used it to map nuclear facilities. Talk about high stakes.
Wow. Yeah. It's pretty amazing how this one technology can be applied across so many different fields.
It is. But hold on, there's more. Let's talk about their work with autonomous vehicles. And I'm not just talking about self-driving cars here.
No. They're going way beyond that. They're developing autonomous vehicles for the air, ground, and even underwater. We're talking unmanned aerial vehicles or drones, unmanned ground vehicles, and even legged robots.
Legged robots.
Okay.
Now that's where it gets really interesting. So imagine robots that can walk, climb, navigate all this challenging terrain, just like animals.
They're perfect for those extreme environments and confined spaces where, wheels just won't cut it.
Right.
Think about search and rescue in a collapsed building or inspecting infrastructure in a radioactive zone. The possibilities are, pretty much endless.
So we've got drones mapping the skies, ground vehicles cruising around, and legged robots tackling the tough terrain. What about underwater exploration? Are they doing anything in that space?
They are. CSIRO Robotics has a history of innovation in aquatic robotics. They developed the Starbug, which is it's an autonomous underwater vehicle that's been used for all kinds of research projects.
Wow.
It can collect data on things like water quality, marine life, even underwater structures.
It's like having an underwater drone.
Yeah.
I can see this being super valuable for for marine research, monitoring the health of our oceans, and even inspecting underwater infrastructure like pipelines or dams.
Exactly. And their expertise in autonomous vehicles was a big factor in their success in that DARPA challenge we were talking about. They had to design robots that could make decisions on the fly, adapt to changing conditions, operate with very little human intervention.
It's like they were building robots with a mind of their own.
Yeah.
Able to, think and act independently in these complex and really unpredictable environment.
Totally. It's impressive and a little bit mind-boggling if you think about it.
Yeah.
But the technologies they developed for that challenge have applications far beyond just underground exploration. They can apply it to any situation where you need a robot to work autonomously in a complex environment.
Yeah.
It's like they've opened up a whole new world of possibilities.
Okay, so we've covered 3D mapping and their pretty amazing work with autonomous vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
What else is cooking up in the CSIRO Robotics Lab?
We'll get ready for this because they're pioneering something called augmented world models or 3D++.
3D plus. I'm intrigued.
Right. It's as futuristic as it sounds. So imagine you have a 3D map.
Yeah.
But instead of just showing the shape of things, it also has layers of information from other types of sensors, like heat sensors or sensors that can detect different kinds of light.
So it's like a 3D map on steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, right.
What kind of information can they gather with this 3D++ approach?
Well, a ton. They've developed a system called HeatWave, which combines 3D LiDAR mapping with thermal imaging. Imagine being able to see heat signatures on a 3D map.
Wow.
Right. They're looking at applications for this technology in everything from medicine to disaster assessment and recovery. And then there's 3D plus gas sensor fusion, which, as you might guess, combines 3D mapping with gas sensors. They can actually map gas emissions and plumes both indoors and outdoors.
Think about the implications for monitoring air quality, detecting gas leaks, or even assessing environmental contamination.
That's amazing. So they can create a 3D map of where, like, pollution is concentrated.
Exactly. Exactly. And what about in situ hyperspectral mapping, or ISHM?
Okay.
What's that all about?
Well, that's where they combine 3D LiDAR mapping with hyperspectral imaging, which captures a much wider range of light than regular cameras.
Okay.
This lets them see the chemical composition of objects in the environment.
Wow.
It's not just about seeing the shape of things. It's about understanding what they're made of at a fundamental level.
So it's like giving the 3D map superpowers.
Yeah, exactly.
They can see things we can't see with the naked eye. What are some of the applications for that?
The CSIRO's agriculture and biosecurity teams are particularly interested in this technology.
They're looking at using it for things like identifying pests and diseases in crops and analyzing soil health. It could revolutionize how we manage our food production systems.
Yeah, it sounds like 3D++ has the potential to impact so many different industries.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing to think about all the possibilities.
Really.
But all this cutting-edge technology needs a home, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they must have some pretty impressive facilities to to develop and test all this stuff.
You're absolutely right. Let's take a virtual tour of CSIRO Robotics facilities, their website, and a YouTube video. Give us a sneak peek into where all the magic happens.
Lead the way. I'm dying to see what kind of environment fosters such groundbreaking research.
If you first stop the Robotics Innovation Center, this 600 square meter facility is it's like the heart of their operation. It's a hub for collaboration, and it houses test beds for aquatic robots, unmanned ground vehicles, legged robots. They even have a motion capture system.
Motion capture, like what they use in Hollywood for special effects.
Yeah.
What are they using that for in a robotics lab?
They use it to track the movement of robots with incredible precision. Imagine capturing the subtle movements of a legged robot as it walks.
Oh, wow.
Or the precise trajectory of a drone in flight.
Okay.
This data is gold for refining their algorithms and improving the performance of their robots.
It makes sense, yeah. It's all about getting those robots to move smoothly and efficiently. So what else do they have at this Robotics Innovation Center?
Well, it's not all about indoor testing.
Okay.
They also have extensive outdoor testing facilities. We're talking grassland, outdoor tracks, underwater, and an underground testing areas, like the works.
Wow, they've really thought of everything. It sounds like they can put their robots through their paces in a variety of real world scenarios.
Exactly. And then there's the Flight Operations Center, which is specifically designed for drone research and testing. It's even approved by the Civil Aviation Safety Authority, so they can really push the boundaries of what's possible with drone technology.
It's incredible how they have all these different environments to test their robots in.
Yeah.
From the controlled setting of a lab to the unpredictable conditions of the real world.
Mm-hmm.
It must be exciting for the researchers to see their creations come to life in these different settings.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about their 3D printing capabilities. They have 9 different 3D printers, which allow them to rapidly prototype and create custom parts for their robots.
Wow.
It's like having a mini factory right there in their lab.
That's true. 3D printing really is a game changer. It gives them so much flexibility and control over their designs.
Yeah.
It's no wonder CSIRO Robotics is at the forefront of innovation.
Yeah.
But all this talk about facilities and technology, it's easy to forget about the human element behind all this.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
CSIRO Robotics is made up of, researchers, engineers, PhD students. They even have industrial trainees.
Okay.
They have a real mix of experience and expertise, which I think is a key part of their success. It's not just about having the latest gadgets. It's about having the right people with the passion and dedication to use them.
Yeah, it's a reminder that at the end of the day, innovation is driven by people, their creativity, their collaboration, and their relentless pursuit of solutions to complex problems. And speaking of complex problems, let's dive into some of the specific research projects that they're working on.
Okay, I'm ready.
Because I have a feeling things are about to get even more interesting.
Let's do it. Okay, let's kick things off with a project that hits close to home for all of us, AgScan 3D. It's a system that uses that amazing 3D++ technology we were just talking about, but applies it to agriculture.
So they're taking those souped-up 3D maps and putting them to work in the field.
Exactly. They've combined 3D laser scanning with hyperspectral imaging to create this system that can assess crops in incredible detail. Like we're talking about measuring the height and density of crops, the size and shape of individual fruits, even detecting signs of stress or disease.
Wow. So it's like they're giving farmers X-ray vision for their fields?
Yeah.
I can only imagine how valuable that kind of information would be.
Oh, it's huge. With AgScan 3D, farmers can fine-tune their irrigation, optimize fertilizer use, and target pest control more effectively.
Okay.
It's all about boosting yields and making farming practices more sustainable.
It's another great example of how CSIRO Robotics is using technology to solve real-world problems. And in this case, they're tackling the challenge of food security.
But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about a project that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie. Project Rescue.
Ah, yes, Project Rescue. Now, this is where things get really interesting. They've developed autonomous drones for infrastructure inspection.
Okay.
So picture this, drones flying beyond the line of sight,
Wow.
inspecting things like power lines, pipelines, bridges, all without a human pilot.
That's incredible and a bit unnerving, if I'm honest. Those kinds of inspections can be incredibly dangerous for humans.
Exactly. And that's where the beauty of autonomous drones comes in. Right. They can access hard-to-reach places, collect high-resolution data, and spot potential problems before they turn into major headaches.
It's a win-win situation. It makes things safer for for human inspectors and more efficient for the companies that manage this infrastructure.
Yeah. And I bet the data they collect is incredibly valuable for for planning maintenance and upgrades.
Absolutely. And CSIRO Robotics is taking this concept even further. They're also working on autonomous systems for biosecurity and biodiversity monitoring.
So robots protecting the environment and tracking wildlife. Tell me more.
One really cool example is their work using drones to survey for invasive plant species.
Oh, okay.
They've actually developed a specialized drone that can detect Myconia, which is this highly invasive plant that's a serious threat to rainforest ecosystems.
Wow. I wouldn't have thought of using drones for that, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
They can cover huge areas quickly and get into places that would be difficult or dangerous for humans to reach.
Exactly. And they're not stopping there. They're developing autonomous systems to track and monitor animal populations too, which is essential for conservation efforts. Imagine being able to track the movements of endangered species or monitor the health of an entire ecosystem, all with the help of robots.
It seems like CSIRO Robotics is really leading the way in applying robotics to environmental challenges.
Yeah.
Using technology not just to solve problems, but to understand our world better.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty inspiring.
It is. Now let's bring things a little closer to home and talk about their work on robots for healthcare. They're exploring some really fascinating applications in this area.
Okay, robots in healthcare. That's definitely caught my attention.
Right.
What are they working on in that space?
One area they're exploring is the use of social robots to support education and therapy for children on the autism spectrum.
That's intriguing. So robots interacting with children with autism. Curious to know how that works.
Well, these social robots are designed to interact with humans in a very natural, engaging way. They can respond to speech, recognize facial expressions, and even learn and adapt to an individual's behavior.
So they're not just machines. They're like companions or facilitators.
Precisely. And research shows that children with autism often respond really well to robots.
Okay.
They can help them develop social skills, improve communication, and reduce anxiety.
It's amazing how technology can create these supportive and therapeutic tools. What other healthcare projects are they working on?
Another project that's really promising is a low-cost, non-invasive sensor system to help older people live independently in their own homes for longer.
So sensors that can keep track of things like movement, activity levels, and even vital signs.
Exactly. Imagine a system that can detect potential problems early on. Maybe someone is becoming less active or their vital signs are changing.
Yeah.
This information can be invaluable for intervening early, preventing more serious issues, and reducing the need for hospitalization or assisted living facilities.
It's all about giving people more control over their health and well-being, especially as they age.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really impressed with the breadth and impact of their work. They're tackling some really big challenges.
They are, and their commitment to innovation extends beyond just their research.
Uh-huh.
They're also playing a key role in fostering a broader robotics ecosystem in Australia.
Okay, that's fantastic. What are they doing to promote robotics on a national level?
They're actually one of the founding members of the Robotics Australia Group,
Okay.
which is an alliance that brings together research organizations, industry partners, and government agencies to advance robotics research and development in Australia.
So they're building this collaborative network to accelerate innovation.
Exactly.
It's like they're creating a robotics powerhouse down under.
Exactly, and it's already yielding results. They've launched initiatives like the Early Adopters Program, which gives Australian companies access to their cutting-edge technologies so they can test them out and adapt them to their specific needs.
It's a smart way to make sure that their research translates into real-world impact, helping to boost the economy and create new industries. And speaking of impact, remember how CSIRO came in second in that DARPA Subterranean Challenge?
Yes.
Well, that accomplishment really put Australia firmly on the map in the field of robotics,
Yeah.
showcasing their expertise to the world.
It's a reminder that Australia is a hub for innovation, and CSIRO Robotics is leading the charge. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with robotics technology.
Yeah.
And they're doing it with this clear focus on making a positive impact on the world.
It's not just about the tech itself, it's about the people behind it. CSIRO Robotics has fostered this culture of collaboration, creativity, and a real passion for solving those tough challenges. It's inspiring.
It really is, and their work has implications that reach far beyond just robotics.
Right.
They're tackling some of the biggest challenges facing our world: food security, environmental sustainability, healthcare, aging populations. They're at the forefront of innovation on so many levels.
Yeah, it makes you think about the future, doesn't it? Like, how will robots continue to shape our lives in the years to come?
Uh-huh.
What are the ethical considerations we need to address as robots become more integrated into our society?
Yeah.
Are we heading towards a utopian future where robots make our lives easier and solve all our problems?
Right.
Or is there a darker side to all this?
Those are some big questions, and I don't think anyone has all the answers. But I do know that CSIRO Robotics isn't shying away from these tough conversations. They're actively engaged in discussions about the responsible development and deployment of robotics technology.
Yeah, it's reassuring to know that they're approaching this with a sense of responsibility and a focus on the greater good.
Yeah,
They're not just building robots; they're building a better future.
absolutely. They understand that that robotics technology has the potential to both, to solve problems and create new ones. They're walking that tightrope, making sure that technological advancement goes hand in hand with human well-being.
Yeah,
It's not an easy task.
it's definitely a balancing act. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the history and controversies of CSIRO to the mind-blowing work being done by the robotics team. What are your key takeaways from all this? What stands out to you?
For me, the biggest takeaway is the sheer breadth and depth of CSIRO's research. I mean, they're involved in so many different fields. It's mind-boggling. They're truly a national treasure,
Mm-hmm.
and their work has a global impact. And their robotics team is just one example of the incredible innovation happening within CSIRO.
I agree. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with the robotics technology
Yeah.
and doing it with a focus on making a real difference in the world. Their work on 3D mapping, autonomous vehicles, and augmented world models is truly groundbreaking. And their dedication to responsible innovation is commendable.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about their impressive facilities and the brilliant minds behind all this.
Yeah.
They've created an environment that fosters collaboration, creativity,
Hmm.
and a passion for problem solving. It's a recipe for success.
Well said. This deep dive has given me a whole new appreciation for CSIRO and the vital role they play in advancing science and innovation in Australia.
Yeah.
It's really something to be proud of.
Me too. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for CSIRO Robotics. I have a feeling they're just getting started.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities waiting to be explored.
Now, before we wrap things up, I wanted to leave you with a thought-provoking question inspired by this deep dive. CSIRO Robotics' vision is developing highly autonomous robots to assist humans. But what does it truly mean for robots to assist humans?
Ooh.
Is it about replacing human labor or augmenting human capabilities?
That's a great question, and it's one that that society will need to grapple with as robots become more and more integrated into our lives. Will we see robots as tools, as collaborators, even as companions? The answer is likely to be a complex mix of all three, and how we answer that question will shape our future in profound ways.
And how will this impact our economy, our social structures, and even our understanding of what it means to be human? These are questions that philosophers have been pondering for centuries.
Yeah.
But now they're becoming increasingly urgent as technology advances at this exponential rate.
These are big questions, and I don't think there are any easy answers, but they're questions worth pondering as we venture into this new era of human robot interaction.
Yeah.
CSIRO Robotics is pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and it's up to us to engage in these conversations and shape the future we want to see.
Well said. This deep dive has given us a lot to think about, and I encourage you to continue exploring the fascinating world of CSIRO Robotics.
Yeah.
Their website is a treasure trove of information.
It is.
And they're actively sharing their research with the world. Who knows? Maybe you'll be inspired to join them in shaping the future of robotics.
Yeah, it's a journey into uncharted territory for sure.
It is.
And it's exciting to see, Australian researchers like those at CSIRO Robotics at the forefront of this exploration. But as we venture into this new landscape, I think we can't ignore the ethical considerations. As robots become more capable, more autonomous, I think we really need to think long and hard about their place in society.
It's a conversation we can't afford to shy away from.
Right. I mean, what are the potential risks and benefits of increased automation? How do we ensure that robots are used for good and not for harm? These are questions that CSIRO is actively grappling with, and they're not just sweeping these concerns under the rug.
It's great to hear that they're taking a proactive approach. I was reading that they actually have ethicists and social scientists working alongside their engineers and roboticists.
Oh, wow.
Which is that kind of interdisciplinary approach is crucial, I think.
Absolutely. It recognizes that technology is never neutral. Right. It's shaped by the people who create it and the choices we make about how to use it. And having diverse voices at the table is essential to ensure that these advancements align with human values and don't just run off the rails.
It's all about finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
Between technological progress and human well-being.
Yeah.
And speaking of the human element, one thing that struck me throughout this whole deep dive was the passion and enthusiasm of the CSIRO Robotics team.
Oh, yeah.
It really shines through in their work.
Yeah, it's contagious, isn't it? You can just sense their genuine excitement about the potential of their research to make a positive impact on the world. They're not just going through the motions. They're driven by a sense of purpose.
Yeah, exactly. It's like their enthusiasm is fuel for innovation, pushing them to explore new frontiers and tackle those really tough challenges.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that science isn't just about cold hard data.
Yeah.
It's about human curiosity, creativity, and the desire to understand and improve the world around us.
Beautifully put. So, zooming out and looking at the bigger picture here, it's clear that CSIRO Robotics is a shining example of Australian ingenuity and scientific excellence. They're taking on global challenges, pushing the boundaries of technology, and they're doing it with this commitment to ethical and responsible innovation. It's a model for how science can and should be done in the 21st century.
And they're demonstrating the power of collaboration, right? Bringing together experts from different fields to work towards a common goal. They're breaking down silos and showing what's possible when brilliant minds come together.
Yeah, it's a powerful testament to the idea that we can achieve more when we work together. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I wanted to leave you, our listener, with a final thought. CSIRO Robotics' vision is developing highly autonomous robots to assist humans. But the question remains, what will our future relationship with these robots look like? Will they be tools, collaborators, companions, or perhaps something we haven't even imagined yet?
That's a question that'll continue to unfold as robotics technology advances, and it's a conversation that we all need to be a part of, I think.
Yeah.
What roles do we want robots to play in our lives? What are the boundaries we need to set? These are questions that will shape our future, and CSIRO Robotics is providing a glimpse into what that future might hold.
It's an invitation to imagine, to explore, and to engage in this exciting, sometimes challenging, and always evolving world of robotics. And who knows, maybe this deep dive has sparked a newfound interest in you, our listener. Perhaps you'll be inspired to learn more, to get involved, or even pursue a career in this fascinating field.
The future of robotics is full of possibilities. And
Yeah.
it's waiting to be shaped by curious minds like yours.
Yeah.
So keep learning, keep questioning, you keep exploring. That's the spirit of CSIRO Robotics, and it's a spirit we encourage you to embrace. This deep dive is just the beginning of the adventure.